Hey everybody, welcome to Pros with Peter. I'm Peter. I want to talk to you today about brewing a bag and my own setup and why I'd recommend it and why I think you should be brewing all grain as soon as you possibly can. If you're brewing extract right now, I would definitely recommend thinking about moving to all grain. When I moved to all grain brewing is when I noticed a big jump in quality. I was brewing a lot of lighter IPAs, a lot of ales that really benefited from moving away from the malt extract. It doesn't cost that much more and it gives you a lot more control in a lot of very good ways. All grain brewing is really fun. You get to experiment more with some of your recipes. You get to have a lot more control over what you put in your beer, and it's just worth the jump. And if you can't go straight to a bigger, more complex system, or if you want to keep things as simple as possible, which I'm a huge fan of, I recommend brewing a bag because it's simple, it's effective, and it gets you all grain brewing as soon as possible. I've had a lot of different brew setups, but I had to kind of simplify, and I decided that I would stick with brew in a bag as my primary brew method. When I first started brewing in a bag, I bought myself a nicer, bigger kettle from SS Brewtech. It's a 20 plus gallon kettle so that I could brew 10, maybe even 15 gallon batches if I'm pushing it. I do use a propane burner outdoors. I love an outdoor brew day. I got my brew bag from brewinabag.com. They're great. They make really, really quality bags. I've had one for maybe 3 years now and it's still kicking. I should probably get another one because it's a little brown. Excellent, excellent quality bags. They work forever and I've never had a tear in mine or anything. I'll link to brewinabag.com down below, but it's just that, brewinabag.com. I use a Bayou Classic propane burner. Same one I bought when I first started doing extract kits. The Bayou Classic has been working super well for a super long time, so I can't complain at all about that. I recommend them highly. You can definitely get ones that have a little more output or a little less output depending on what you're willing to spend, but the Bayou Classic has been doing great for me. How brew in a bag works is you use your kettle as your mash tun. You might lose a little more temperature than with a properly insulated mash tun, but I find that with about 9 gallons of strike water plus my grains and a towel wrapped around my kettle, I only lose about 2 degrees over the course of an hour, and I think the trade-off of going all grain as opposed to an extract brew is definitely worth the slight loss of temperature control. Brewing in a bag is definitely all grain brewing. I don't let anyone tell you it's not. You're using grain and you're mashing just like you normally would. The only thing that's different is that instead of running from your mash tun into your kettle, you lauter straight by pulling the bag out. Lautering is just draining the sweet wort from your mash. There are a lot of really great options on the market of electronic brew in a bag. I've heard really good things. I can't recommend one specifically. I'm still using a propane burner and I'm pretty satisfied with it, so I'm not going to make the jump now, but if I ever lived in a place without a backyard or a good driveway or garage, I would definitely consider electronic brew in a bag. You can definitely use a stainless steel mesh basket as your bag. A lot of systems do this. A lot of the electronic brew in a bag systems or the Clawhammer supply system use these nice mesh stainless steel baskets. I've also moved to kegging. You can still definitely make really, really good all grain brew just by bottling. I'd recommend moving to all grain even if you're going to keep bottling for a while. I definitely recommend brew in a bag. It's simple, it's effective. It gets you brewing all grain as soon as you possibly can without driving up costs or making things too much more complex. It gets you all grain brewing without having to invest in too much equipment, and you can see how you like it, tweak your recipes, and decide from there if you want to go more complex, if you like keeping it simple. However you want to brew, you should be brewing, you should be in control. Pretty soon I'm going to do a full breakdown of my equipment and my brew days, trying to help you guys figure out a little bit more about what is going to help you create good beer in a way that's easiest and most approachable.